Hey everybody, welcome back to my 7th talk in our series of short epigenetics science talks. I appreciate all of your questions and I will answer them during the next several talks. I've created a 2-part talk for you on an excellent book that just came out on May 6th, 2025. It's called Super Agers, and it's written by a prominent cardiologist, Dr. Eric Topol. Dr. Topol has written over 1,300 research papers and several books. The reason I've chosen to talk about Super Agers is because all of the information in the book about how to take charge of our aging is based in a large amount of scientific research. Here is the cover of Super Agers, an evidence-based approach to longevity. Dr. Eric Topol wanted to know if genes were the reason some people live to very old ages without major health problems. Have you heard of the Wellderly? The well-elderly. People who are at least 80 years old with no chronic diseases.
So I was 90 years old on February 12th. I've just always been healthy. I've always felt good.
I'm mobile. I'm still driving. I'm still able to teach 2 of the classes that I was teaching.
I play softball. Being 90, of course, I'm the oldest one there.
The theory was that something in their genes would account for their exceptional health span. Health span is the number of years lived in optimal health without impairment due to disease or disability. Lifespan or longevity is different. They measure the number of years a person lives. The concept of health span is very powerful because what we really want is to live a very healthy life longer. I'm going to discuss with you the Wellderly study. The results are extremely exciting in terms of the work we've already been doing in our epigenetics talks. My name is Robert Needleman. I'm a molecular biologist and biochemist. Thank you for joining me for the next 5 minutes. Welcome to part 1 in this episode of Empower My DNA. The entire genome, all the DNA, was sequenced for 1,400 Wellderly people ages 80 to 105. The results? There wasn't much in their DNA to illuminate the basis for healthy aging. These are some very powerful results. Now, let's contrast this to the elderly, who have the same genetics as the Wellderly. In the United States, 60% of adults, all ages 18 and above, have at least one chronic disease. And 40% have 2 or more. Age 65 and older, 80% have 2 or more chronic diseases. 23% have 3 or more chronic diseases, and about 7% have 5 or more. What are the top 4 chronic diseases? Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and some kind of neurodegeneration. Now, let's go back to the Wellderly. Since the Wellderly are not genetically different than everyone else, what is causing their super aging? Epigenetics, how they use their DNA. As a group, they were different from many Americans of similar ages. Wellderly were thinner by almost 30 pounds. They exercised more. They had more education than the general population their age. They are remarkably upbeat people. They participate in social interactions, clubs, they have a circle of friends, they volunteer. They pursue activities that give them purpose and enjoyment. And they are very busy. So much so, it was difficult to get an appointment with some of them to enroll them in the Wellderly study. Here is an article in the journal Science from 1987, Human Aging, Usual and Successful. The effects of the aging process itself have been exaggerated, and the modifying effects of diet, exercise, personal habits, and psychosocial factors underestimated. The authors of Usual and Successful Aging, Drs. Rowe and Kahn, were the first to use the word health span. This is an article in the Wall Street Journal in reference to his book Super Agers. Dr. Topol has a formula for aging better. That genes don't necessarily determine healthy aging is liberating and suggest that we can pretty much all do better to delay disease. Dr. Topol goes on to say these diseases, heart, cancer, neurodegenerative, take 2 or more decades to develop, giving us a long time window of opportunity to prevent them. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to cover Lifestyle Plus from Super Agers. It includes what we normally discuss as lifestyle, diet, exercise, and sleep, and is broadened to include mental health and exposure to environmental toxins. I hope you're hearing the profound nature of the quotes I just read to you. The vast majority of our aging is determined by how we live, not our DNA. And chronic diseases take a very long time to develop. So the concept of living in fear of one of these conditions just showing up is not productive to our health. Since chronic diseases take 2 or more decades to develop, why not start today with lifestyle choices that keep us healthy? We can say to ourselves, I make lifestyle choices that support my greatest health. It really is up to us. Please join me for part 2 so you can learn about science-based lifestyle choices that dramatically support our health. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you on the next video.